Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at some stuff from the good folks at Stellagama Publishing. These are little mini books, Cepheus Light, or Cepheus 1 Calorie, if you will. They're using the Cepheus engine, but they're for different genres. So this would be for space travel, space gaming. This would be for post-apocalyptic, Gamma World type gaming. And barbaric, of course, for a D&D type setting. So we're going to take a quick look at the base set. I'm going to stay mostly in Quantum Starfarer today. I do want to thank the folks at Stellagama Publishing for sending me these. I enjoyed reading them, I really did. These were a lot of fun. I wish these had been around when my boys were little. I'll go into that more while I'm going through the video as to why these would be great things for a brand new player, a young player. I introduced both my boys to role-playing and to tabletop wargaming things when they were very little, and they could play BattleTech functionally when they were very little, even to a less degree when they were about 3 years old. They understand the robots were going to crash together and kaboom and things like that. So I found those to be very good teaching tools for them too, because it's all math. They didn't know they were learning, but yeah, they were learning. But I'm going to go into why these are particularly good for that type of thing, or in other ways these are good, and I'm going to talk about the books themselves. So I'm going to go into the quality and the writing and everything else. I'm also reminding everybody I'm still on my subscription drive. Just like Channel 11 here in Chicago, they go for their pledge drive every couple of months. I'm doing the same thing, subscription drive. I'm trying to get that mystical 1,000. It's going real well. I really appreciate the folks that have stepped in and gone ahead and subscribed. If you're on the fence, come on in. I'm still getting more than half my views from people who haven't subscribed. So the number I need would be easily reached if folks would just say, yeah, the heck with it, I'll throw the guy a subscription. So come on, let's be that guy. The other thing I'm doing is a Patreon. I have decided on Patreon rewards, at least for the time being. I'm going to be putting out basically a serialized dungeon offering written by me for AD&D First Edition. And if there are Traveler folks that are also going to be Patreons, I'm going to offer a Traveler world. It's off the Traveler map. I'm not going to say which world yet. I'm going to offer a Traveler world that I've kind of gone a little deeper in profile than what's available. I don't claim any ownership on anything like that or anything. I'm just a fanboy, just jotting up some stuff. And I'm taking notes basically from a campaign I've done. So those are the offerings. If they're something that you're interested in, they should be out in late May to early June. If you are interested, go ahead and become a patron. Right now, I'm not differentiating between the lowest tier and the highest tier. In the future, maybe I'll give the highest tier a better preview. I don't know. So if you can subscribe and maybe join the Patreon, that'd be great. Help me grow the channel. Help me get a better backdrop, maybe some more shirts, better equipment. You get the point. So that's it for the sales pitch today from Stellagama Publishing, Quantum Starfarer, Cepheus Atom, and Barbaric. So Quantum Starfarer from Stellagama Publishing. This is written by Omer Golan-Joel and Richard Hazelwood. Again, I want to thank the folks at Stellagama for sending me this copy my way. I enjoyed it. I like everything I've read so far from Cepheus. I've actually been around in Cepheus. I bought some of their earliest offerings off of DriveThruRPG as PDFs. A big fan. I like their writing. I like the presentation. I like the light rules. This is using the Quantum engine. So basically, this is just a tiny little booklet. Well, the very first thing I really liked when I saw it is especially the back. This reminded me of the little black books from the old Traveler days. So that was pretty neat. I got a little blast of nostalgia there. And then reading this, the rules read a lot like the first edition Gamma World rules. Gamma World was published in about 1978 in first edition, and frankly, the rules weren't that tight. Not criticizing these rules, I'm just saying that for 1978, Gamma World's rules were pretty open, and you could do a lot with what you wanted. That's some of the fun of Gamma World, is kind of the wahoo element of Gamma World. Well, Quantum Starfarer actually has that too. These rules we're talking light. These are under the 2D6 Open Gaming License. And here's all your stuff. This booklet is a total of about 32 pages. A couple blank pages at the back, 32 pages. And that's with all the copyright licensing information, everything. So there's 28 pages of actual stuff. You could play an entire game of Cepheus out of this, but this is kind of Cepheus 1 calorie, if you will. This is a very light game. This is meant more as an introductory game than anything else. And that's why I said at the top, when I was talking about how I would love this when my boys were small, when they were 5 and 6 years old, this would have been a great game to literally cut their teeth with. Because they don't have a bunch of statistics and rules for their characters, they don't get overwhelmed with the rules. And I'm going to go into that in just a moment. But this was very handy, or this would be very handy if you were teaching someone who was young, but wanted to play the games Daddy's always playing. Well, you could sit down and run a game of this for them. So there's the introduction about our good friends, the authors, Stellagama Publishing itself. And as I said, this is under the 2x6 open gaming license. The basic game mechanic, same as any of the other 2x6 games. You have a task to complete that you as the game master assign it as easy, average, difficult, or formidable. That's the number they have to make when they throw 2x6, plus adding their appropriate skills or physical, well, just their appropriate skills in this case. There are 7 skills in this game: combat, knowledge, physical, social, space, stealth, and technical. Combat covers fighting, personally or from vehicles. Knowledge covers education, general knowledge, and general intelligence and willpower. You want to be that scientist who knows everything from a 1950s monster movie? There you go. Physical covers strength and endurance. Social covers social skills. Space covers anything space related, from piloting to using spacesuits. Stealth covers sneaking, and technical covers technical skills and engineering. Very straightforward, very simple. We have character creation. To create a character, do the following steps. You assign 5 points among your 7 skills. Maximum 3 points per skill. You don't have to take each and every one of the skills, but you can. You could do 5 and 1 point in each skill and have all 7. Or you can then note down your stamina, which is equal to 7. You get base 7 plus your physical skill, or just 7. Now note down your lifeblood, which is equal to twice your physical skill, or equal to 14 plus twice your physical skill. So if my physical skill is a 2, I would have 7 plus 2 is 9 here. And here, for my lifeblood, I would have 14 plus 2 times 2 is 4. I would have 18, so it would be double that. Or just 14 if you have the physical skill. So these are your hit points. Your lifeblood and your stamina are your hit points. So basically 14 hit points for shrugging off, that casual explosion that knocks you off your feet but doesn't really harm you. That was what you used lifeblood for, and then stamina is, if you're really getting wounded. And now you choose one trait. You start with 2d6 times 1,000 credits, plus any equipment, vehicle, or starship assigned to you by the referee. No rolling, no mustering out here. You just go ahead and, hey, you've got a starship. Traits. Here are traits. You can have one of these to start out with. They are Ace. You gain plus 2 bonus saving throws to gain an edge in vehicle combat. Assassin. When rolling a natural 12 on an attack throw, that's on 2d6, ignore the target's armor. Ghost. The character has advantage on throws to sneak in darkness. Hardy. Reduce the damage of the first and only the first successful attack on the character in a given battle by 1d6. So you just reduce that because you're so durable. Martial Artist. You cause 2d6 rather than 1d6 with unarmed attacks. Mr. Fix-It. You gain advantage on throws to repair vehicles or spacecraft. Profession. You have an advantage on throws related to non-combat professions such as advocate, chef, or chemist. This never applies in combat situations. Psionic. That's right here. We'll get to that in a moment. You gain 2 psionic powers of your choosing. Surgeon. When treating a seriously wounded character, the surgeon may throw heal of a 6 up to reduce recovery time from 5-6 days to 2-6 days. And then Thief. Gain advantage for rolls for pickpocketing or stealing the item, or when fencing stolen goods. So in any of the more rules-heavy space games, you would end up with several different skills to cover what's being covered here in one shot. So very straightforward, very simplistic. We go into psionics. Whenever you use a psionic, you pick 2 to start out, and then you can gain some as the game goes on. And then every time you use it, you throw 2d6 without mods, And if you throw a 10 or greater, you can still use it that day. That's pretty good. Alter self. Change your appearance, including fingerprints and retinae, to match another person of the same species. Effect lasts for 8 hours. Great for infiltration. Regeneration. Immediately regain 2d6 lifeblood. Emphatic healing. Heal one living target or for 2d6 lifeblood. Lose 1d6 lifeblood yourself. So like the empath in the old Star Trek show. Clairsentience. Remotely see and hear a single location as if present. Location may be anywhere within a 500-kilometer radius. That's a massive area. Telekinesis. Move up to 100 kilograms for 1d6 rounds. If used to throw a heavy object up to 30 meters, it can go up to 30 meters. It causes 3d6 damage. Choke. The old force choke. Grab one humanoid by their throat for 1d6 combat rounds or until you release the target. This paralyzes them and causes 1d6 damage per round. Zombie. Use one corpse as a puppet. Manipulate simple objects or attack in melee. Cannot use ranged weapons other than hurling objects. Telepathy. Read the target's general surface thoughts or go deeper to know everything the target knows in a single subject. Again, this would be, a lot of these powers would be layer upon layer in a more rules-intensive system. Mind Blast. Target suffers 4d6 damage. Range is 250 meters. Target may throw knowledge 8+ as a saving throw for only half damage. Domination. Mind control a single target for 1d6 combat rounds. Target may throw 10 up to resist. And teleport. Teleport yourself immediately to any location within 5,000 kilometers of you if you are unencumbered. So psionics are really powerful in this game. And then we get into personal combat, which is you need the standard 8 to hit plus your modifiers, and then you do the damage based on your weapon or what you're attacking with. Vehicle combat, very similar. Then we get to Starship design, very stripped down Starship design system. You can advance in this. You have an experience point level to go up, and you can gain either 3 stamina or 6 lifeblood. You gain a new trait, or you can get hero points, which will actually let you lift up some of your stats. All of this is rules light. The GM is encouraged to just kind of sit there and wing a lot of this stuff. Starship design, very stripped down, very straightforward. You don't get buried in a ton of the rules. I really like that. Star travel. You're just going from A to B. We're not going to sweat a ton about that. There's only one page on Starship travel. The idea is, at least that I took away from this, is that you're going to be supplementing these rules once you get into it a little bit more with other rules that are more layered. But this is a starting off point. And frankly, at the PDF at $1 and the printed book at $4 plus the PDF, that's a good starting price too. So you could get this today on DriveThruRPG under Stellagama, Quantum Starfarer for $1 for the PDF, and just start doing this right now. So space combat, the stars, how you generate stars, world generation, technology levels. Stripped down, there's only 12 tech levels. World tags. There's a bunch of different world tags. This is actually one of the more sophisticated elements of it. I like the artwork in this too. Equipment and vehicles. Again, we're just kind of blowing through this. I've read this in a very, very short period of time. My wife had I don't even remember what she was watching on TV, and I just sat and read this and was done before I knew it. Here we are, page 28. So I have everything I need to start playing. Why would I bother with this? Well, I can think of several things. I've already mentioned about kids. Young kids want to learn it. If you are a teacher and you want to introduce some of this kind of elements at school, this would be a great way to start it. You're not bearing things down. If somebody loses their character, it's not a problem to restart it. A situation I had many, many times over the years is that the husband plays role-playing games with us, but the wife doesn't. So if it's a couple that we go to dinner with or something, this would be a great way to kind of show the wife a little bit about what we do. I'm only saying husband and wife because that's my personal experience. So this would be a great way to do just a very quick game. You could literally sit around on a couch and a couple of chairs and do this without any physical components other than the dice, a couple pieces of paper, and a pen or two, and the booklet. The GM could run this whole thing right off the top of his head once he's read it. And the way we used to do combat, way back when, before I fell in love with miniatures and dressing up my tabletop, is I had a blank sheet of paper, And I would put, okay, I've got a crate. There's my crate. I've got another crate here. My player characters are hiding here, and they have 14 lifeblood each. Okay, and here are my bad guys. My bad guys have 7 each, and they are in the circle, and they have no cover. But of course, there's more of them. I've worked out how the weapons work. This would be my layout for my combat. And I would simply say, okay, this guy and this guy are going to fire here. This guy and this guy are going to fire here. You get +2 for cover. We go from there. And then we just run the combat. Very simple, very straightforward way to do it. You don't have to have a ton of stuff to carry to the house. You could literally put this in your pocket and take it to the house with you and run the game. Cepheus Atom, much the same, except we're in a post-apocalyptic world. The bombs have fallen, nanites have been released, various germs, viruses have been released, and now you're staggering through the ruins, making your fortune, having fun. It's Gamma World, it's light, it's fun. I've always loved that type of game. And then Barbaric, which is a sword and sorcery version of the same. Each of these is almost the exact same as Quantum Starfarer. Each of these is about $1 each. And you could have the pack ready to go. You can wing this. You could go ahead and read stuff from Star Frontiers and say, hey, I like that idea. I'm going to add that into my Quantum Starfarer game. Or once you've played Quantum Starfarer and you've got a group hooked on Quantum Starfarer, you might want to look at the more rules-heavy Cepheus rules that are out there, like Cepheus Deluxe. Excellent rule set. I've done a video on that one too. I love those rules. They're still lighter than other games out there under the 2x6 system. Still rules lighter than they are, but this is the rules lightest I've ever seen. So that's it for my take on Quantum Starfarer, Barbaric, and Cepheus Atom. All I can say is, guys, lights out, well done. I love them. I went with Quantum Starfarer because it's the newest one, and it's also, frankly, the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart. There are a few changes in Barbaric and in Cepheus Atom, but not significant. So if you're interested in a very rules-light thing to introduce brand new players to the game, this would be a great way to do it. So if you're looking for your space game, you've got it here, sword and sorcery here, and a Gamma World type game here. These could also easily be turned over and made into rules for any kind of superhero game or anything like that if you wanted to play that. So if rules light is what you're looking for, these are definitely the way to go. 1 calorie Cepheus, printed with the Quantum engine. Again, I want to thank the folks at Stellagama Publishing for sending me these. I genuinely appreciate it, and I enjoyed the reads. These were a lot of fun to read, and I recommend it. Go on Drive-Thru-RPG. They have a ton of stuff on there under their website, and this can be as simple or complicated as you want to make it. So that's it for today from page 121. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. Remember the subscription, the Patreon. And that's it. Thanks for your time. And I'll see you next time on page 121.